Hi guys and welcome to Horologique. Before all, let me wish you all a really happy new year. May it be full of joy, health and of course new watches. And we kick off this year with the Pagani Design homage to the Tissot PRX. As you might remember, the PRX was one of the big hits of 2020. I did a video about that one if you have not seen it already. And Pagani Design, who are usually very reactive, were a little late to this party, releasing this watch just a few weeks ago, but with one very special premise. This watch, at least on a few stores, is sold as a 38mm. So can this be the grail we were all waiting for? Finally a PRX at 38mm, so between that 40 and 35 that Tissot already proposes, one being maybe too small and one being maybe too big? Well, let's find out right now. Alright, and let's proceed with the unboxing. I just have removed the box it came in, nothing else, and I have not even taken a sneak peek. So let's do that right now. The classic cloth that I've got so many of. Alright, and here is a first look at the watch. Okay. So we're going to be looking at a few things with this one, guys. We are going to be looking at first appearance and quality, then we're going to be measuring the dimensions, then we're going to be looking at the components, the movements, the parts, the bracelet and all. We're going to be running it in the Timegrapher to see how it performs. We're going to be doing a Lume test, and then we're going to be doing the verdict to see if this is a good watch or not. Shall we start? Okay, so first of all, let's remove all the plastics it comes with. Let's start with the appearance and quality, and let's start with the brushing. And the brushing is, well, not bad. It is not on par with what you see on the actual PRX, neither should it be for the price of this watch. By the way, the price of this watch is around $120, just over $120 today at the beginning of January 2023. With a bit of coupons, you can take that down to around 110, 115. So take that in mind when you judge this watch. The brushing on the top part of the watch is pretty thick, but that is pretty much on par with the actual PRX. So Pagani Design have done nothing but copy that part in there. And it is pretty much in contrast with the brushing, pretty much finer that you find on the sides of the watch. You've got a chamfer, a polished chamfer coming all the way alongside, which goes down with the slope, with the sloping, shall we say, lugs of the watch. Please do note as well that you've got drilled lugs in this version. Strange choice for a watch with an integrated bracelet, but why not? Note as well that the bezel is divided in two. The top part is, as I said, brushed, and there's another part that is polished, and the polishing is, yeah, pretty good. Nothing bad. And once you go to the brushing of the bracelet, well, the brushing is, yeah, it's not bad. It is, again, much lighter than on the front of the case, so there's kind of a contrast in there. And if you look closely, the delineation when the case slopes down is not as well made. Let's focus on the dial here. There are many dial variations. There's a green one, there's this blue one, this dark blue one, there's a black one, of course. And Pagani Design have made an interesting choice here. They have added a second track, which is a different color than the inner part of the dial. Well, not that bad. I think that it contrasts pretty nicely there. The Pagani Design symbol is applied as well All the rest, Pagani Design and Automatic and Japan Movement are just printed. And do note that there's a bit of a texture of the dial, and it's a texture that you get on the quartz versions of the PRX. You've got a date window at 3, of course, like in the original. The indices are, yeah, just like in the original as well, with a double index at 12. But, yeah, there's, I believe, the first quality issue here. Maybe it's just my eyes, but I somehow feel that especially that index at 9, looks a bit crooked. It looks a bit to be sloping downwards. I don't know if you can see that. That might not bother you that much, but yeah, it is noticeable, and do note that these kind of quality issues can happen in these Chinese watches. And do notice that you've got kind of a stock link in here. Nothing too bad, of course. You can move it around and put it to your size, but do note that this might happen on the model you might be receiving. So if it's a no-no for you, well then know that it might happen. See, it doesn't do it on this side, but it does it on this one. The good thing here is that you've got a screw-down crown, which makes this a 100-meter capable watch. So yeah, that is not bad. If I flip the watch, you will see that beating inside is the classic Seiko NH35 in there, so a very good choice for these affordable watches. Hacking, hand winding, all the best. Right now let's focus on dimensions, and this is the first big disappointment about this watch. It is sold, I mean, the whole premise of this watch is that it is a 38mm in diameter. Well, I measured it and it's exactly a 40mm. So yeah, that was the first huge disappointment for me. I was really expecting a 38mm, and yeah, that was pretty disappointing. In thickness, you've got 11.7mm. The original PRX was 11.3, and you've got the exact same measure in the end-link to end-link department between this one and the PRX, which is a bit over 51mm. So that being said, and without any surprise, this wears exactly the same as the PRX wore. So yeah, if the PRX wears big for you, this is gonna wear big. If the PRX wore small for you, well, this is gonna wear just fine. Do note, however, that the PRX is slightly thinner than this one. Okay, the Lume C3 Superluminova, as you can see with the green glow, it is pretty okay on the indices, not as good on the hands, however, and that is a pretty classic Pagani Design defect, sadly. Anyway, not as bad as we thought. To sum up, what can we say about this watch? It is a sneaky piece of business. Its main premise was that it was a 38mm. It is not. It is a 40mm, and that is really, really too bad. At 38mm, it would have been something new and something fresh. At 40, it is just another homage of a more famous watch. If you're not willing to buy a PRX for $600, you can always go ahead and get this one for a bit over $100. The quality is pretty much there. You get pretty much the same feeling of wearing a PRX automatic. Of course, minus that amazing 80-hour power reserve movement. But there you go. The premise changes from a watch that could have been a great surprise to a watch that is just another cheaper alternative to a better watch. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you do not want to save a bit more towards the real thing, knowing of course what you're getting into. That's been it for the review, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.